Oh, what's up, everyone? This is Steve Larson at a very early morning, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. All right, you guys. Hey, I'm very excited for today's episode. I'm going to be jumping on a live Q&A call with all my people here soon, and I'm pumped to do so. I do live Q&As with 3 different groups right now. It's kind of all over the place, actually, but it's a ton of fun. I really enjoy it. So I am what's called a 2 Comma Club coach. There's only a few of us at ClickFunnels, which is awesome. 2 commas meaning $1 million, which is very exciting. And my specialty is webinars. And so I spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours each week doing live Q&A. And so my students go out and they get all the questions out that they've been working on. Basically, they go through a whole bunch of modules during the middle of the week, and then afterwards they come back in and we do huge Q&A sections. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I look forward to it every single week. And as we were putting that whole course together and as we were putting everything together, it was cool to realize that doing the Q&A sessions, the group Q&A sessions, is like this gigantic value add. And I started having people tell me, Steven, these Q&As are just as good as the rest of the course combined. And I was like, hey, that's really, I appreciate that. And then I started thinking about that more and more. And I started thinking through the way I've watched MLM uplines communicate with people. And please understand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying, anyways, follow me for a second here, okay? There was a guy that I watched in my first MLM run around all over the place. He was the man. I look up to him like crazy. I still do. There's nothing wrong with the way he did stuff. I just don't want to do it the way he was doing, and they kept saying hey, this is all passive income. Hey, it's all passive income. There was nothing passive about the way that guy was working. There was nothing passive about how he was put. It wasn't sustainable. The method wasn't duplicatable. No one else could go through and work the way, it was. This was only the people who were going to be successful were only the people who could work like absolute animals, and could sift through people like a beast. And I understood the method. It kind of offended me a little bit, but I really just didn't want to do it that way at all. And one of the things I noticed is that he was on his phone constantly. I mean, all the time, because so and so from this leg in this downline was saying this. So and so from this line needed a question about 2 things over here. So and so over there needed and then if he couldn't pick up and answer immediately, they just kept calling. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a fear of the phone, which is true. I don't know, fear, but man, I cannot stand getting on the phone. I don't know why. I was even a telemarketer for a while on purpose to try and get over that. But the phone kind of freaks me out and drives me nuts. And so I was like, how can I do this in a way that is actually duplicatable with my time? So I have a system that's duplicatable, but my interaction is duplicatable. How can I make this in a way so that I am still able to be removed from my own organization? Not that I'm trying to take the human element out of the MLM. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not trying to sham people and say, hey, go figure it out on your own. So what I started doing is I was like, man, what if we did a live Q&A session with everyone who's buying my course, and then a live Q&A session with everyone in my downline once a week? So I'm actually doing 3 of them now because it's 2 Comma Club Coaching Secrets Masterclass, and then there's the people who buy Secret MLM Hacks. They can ask anything they want in a group Q&A section and setting. And the reason I've been doing it that way was so that they're indexed. And I actually do them over Facebook Live. So people go and they submit their questions ahead of time, and then I index the questions and my answer, and I put them in our members area, and I put them in different, so that it's more duplicatable, so that if someone has a question, they first go try and self-solve. I am all about finding self-solvers. Okay, I do not believe in finding people who believe that their success is on my shoulders. That is not true at all. We each have our own part to play in our own success. And so I go and I find people who are self-solvers. Those are the kinds of people who join my downline. And then what I do is I go and I've been doing these group Q&A sessions, and I'm about to jump into one and just what day is it? Tomorrow-ish. And it's consistent though, every single week. And people go and they preload all of their questions. They preload all their stuff. So then I start immediately with all these Q&As, and it's awesome, guys. It's so much fun. And then eventually what I did with the 2 Comma Club coaching one was I found a guy who wanted to listen to all the Q&A sessions. And by that time there were like well over 100 hours of Q&A sessions with me. And so he grabbed all 100 hours and he listened to all of them. And then anytime there was a question that was asked, he would take that and then my answer and put it into its own little MP3. So that in the members area, people could search for the question or the topic or whatever it was. And then they could see not just the question, obviously, but then all my responses to that same question. And if people kept asking the same question and I had another response to it, there was 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 instances where I answered that question. So someone could get a really awesome round out answer in just a short amount of time. And this has been amazing, you guys. It has replicated my time. It has kept me from having to live on the phone to answer this question or that question when I've answered it tons of other times for other people. And so with this group Q&A section and thing that I've been doing, how awesome to do it that way, right? Because now I don't hold them back. They don't need to wait for an answer to something that might be even just really tiny, or even if it is big. They can go, they look, everything's indexed, they see where the questions are, boom, right there. And I'm planning on doing that same thing with both my downline and also the Secret MLM Hacks group, which is super awesome. I mean, massive value add, and I totally get that. But what it's going to let people do is move at their own pace, because I know some people get in and they're like, hey, I'm working tons of jobs and I got to go a little bit slower. Or someone comes in, they're like, hey, I just jumped ship. I literally am trying to build my parachute while I'm falling, and I have to make this work. I'm going to move at lightning speed. I'm like, cool. And it's nice because it lets people, because I have content that is tailored specifically to my downline. Like, hey guys, this is how I sell this product with this thing, with this script and these ads in these areas on the internet. Hey guys, this is how I sell this product with this script and these ads. Hey, this is how it is. That's where I'm taking everyone. That's what I'm doing and putting out and developing. Hey, this is how I become. This is how I became unique. Make sure we're all unique here. And if you just add like 2 or 3 things here, you can totally become unique from everyone else in the upline and downline. So we're not all competing with each other, right? I mean, solving the huge problems of MLM, right? But I know I ask a lot of questions. I ask a ton of questions. Sometimes it's funny. We'll be at like grocery stores or checkout lines or a restaurant or whatever, and I love to ask questions to just random people. And every once in a while, it's kind of funny. It kind of drives my wife nuts sometimes, which would be like, why did you need to know that? I was like, I'm just curious. Hey, what's your highest selling thing here in the grocery store? Hey, what's the day that is the least busy? Hey, what's the day that's the most busy? I mean, random stuff, but sometimes just kind of cool and fun to know. And I ask a lot of questions. And if I was in my own downline, I would be so thirsty to get all the answers immediately. And so what I'm doing is making this thing consistent, where each person has the option to come in and ask questions on a repeated basis at the same time every single week. That way, the other like 6 days and 20 hours or whatever of my life, I don't have to be glued to my phone. Okay? But I'm still serving and servicing my people. Okay? It's how I've duplicated myself. It's how I've created a machine and a system that solves itself. And then I just teach my people to do the same thing with their people that they recruit, right? Right? And I got no problem if they're using the same kinds of answers that I gave. Does that make sense? This is like huge. Like, no one ever taught me that stuff in the first MLM I was creating, and I realized like right off the bat, holy crap, I'm gonna have to become a customer service rep to actually pull off a successful MLM downline. And I was like, I don't want to do that, and if you have a disposition towards those things, that's great. Good for you. That's awesome. It's not in my personality, and it's not that I don't like people. It's not that I don't like dealing with people or that I don't like answering questions. It's that I answer the same question a billion times for tons of other people. And I was like, man, why don't we just have one centralized place where all the questions are? My answers to all of them every time in the same place where the rest of the training is on how to be, a rockin' member of my downline, or how to actually apply and get secret MLM hacks, secret MLM hacks applied appropriately to your recruiting and your product. You know what I mean? It's huge value add. Amazing. I charge $1,000 an hour right now for one-on-one consulting, and to come in every week and do that for free every single, that's huge. Massive value add for them, massive value add for me, scratches everyone's back, and is one of the, this is why I'm thinking this. While I focus so heavily on true duplication of the product sales, recruiting, this is the first area where I've really been focusing in where it's hey, here's true duplication communication-wise. Right? This is duplication as far as my own time, so that we really can, if we want to, go retire on an island. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're glued to the thing. Yeah, let's go retire on an island, but I'm going to be on the phone 18 hours a day. Come on. That's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to get 1,000 people in my downline in the next 6 months. That's my goal. 1,000 more, okay? And I'm excited to do it. And we're kind of on track. And it's been awesome. And it's been sustainable. I mean, I'm just... And it's been a whole bunch of fun. So if you want to follow the ride, or if you're like, hey, how does this work, or whatever, or if anything I said is interesting to you on that, we'd love to have you in the course. But anyway, been fun stuff. Just think through how you can do that for your own downline. How is it that you can duplicate your your communications? One of the other areas that it's really helped me with as well is that it's helped me understand where people are struggling. And it's funny because a lot of times I would never have known otherwise that that's where people are struggling. It's really, that was the thing? Okay, cool. And I'll go help them solve it, and they're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And suddenly everyone's income explodes because there was 3 things everyone was struggling with, and I just go help them solve that for the whole organization, though. Everyone sees the answer. Everyone gets it. It helps create runners out of the people who may not have been runners before, because they're suffering in silence. But wait, that other guy had that question too? Oh, I didn't want to look dumb. I didn't want to look like I was the only one that had that question. Oh, they had that question. Wow, that's the answer. Sweet. Boom. And they go run. And it helps people who are not extroverts also get success with this, because they see all these other people with their questions. They're like, oh man, does that make sense? Super, super, super helpful. Super thankful I've been doing it. Super thankful I'm about to, I'm starting it with the Secret MLM Hacks group, because I just, we just barely opened the card on this thing last week. And it's been great. Had tons of people come in, and every week, we're just going nuts with everyone. So anyways, very exciting, very awesome. I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but there's just tons of benefits of doing it this way. Because otherwise, man, I would watch, some guys in my upline in the first MLM I joined run around with me and spend inordinate amounts of time with me. And it's not that I wasn't thankful. It's that I was thinking there is literally no way this guy could leave my side and I would be okay right now. But then there's all these other people who also have questions. Oh man, this is not sustainable. It's not duplicatable. It's not something I want to teach my people to do. And so I am super pumped that this is something that's being implemented right now. And I'm super pumped to jump on the first one for Secret MLM Hacks here shortly. So anyway, you guys are all awesome. Appreciate it. Just wanted to drop that little tidbit by as far as logistics, how I'm running this thing, so that it's not all consuming. You know what I mean? I still want to lift in the mornings. I still want to hang out with my little 4-year-old and 2-year-old. I still want to hang out. You know what I mean? I still want the life. I still want to be able to go do those kinds of things, but not, shove my people in a corner and make them feel like I'm not giving them the time they need. You know what I mean? So anyways, this is the way I've gotten around it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Y'all rock stars. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like me to teach your own downline 5 simple MLM recruiting tips for free? If so, go download your free MLM Masters Pack by subscribing to this podcast at secretmlmhacksradio.com.